Some guns are valued for their design or firepower, but popularity doesn't always guarantee safety. Your favorite guns often have quirks, safety and reliability issues that make them safety risks. Here are 12 popular guns that are often considered reliable and safe, but have flaws. Hit that subscribe button never to miss new uploads. Let's get started. 12. FN SCAR 17S. FN-17S is one of the most popular battle rifles in the world. They call it modular, durable, and incredibly fast, but just because it's a military device and looks intimidating, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. A great weapon with great accuracy and versatility, the SCAR 17S presents some challenges that make it more dangerous than you'd think. The FN SCAR 17S packs some real serious punch chambered in the 7.62 NATO round. Its .308 caliber rounds are penetrating and ideal for long-range combat. However, this also means that it can over-penetrate in a home defense situation, deadly to anyone in your home or nearby if you're not careful where you shoot. Imagine the chaos if you miss the mark at close range and the round goes through the wall and hits a loved one. Then there's the weight. At nearly 8 pounds, and with gas-operated systems that maintain accuracy, it's not the easiest rifle to shoot for new shooters or anyone unfamiliar with heavier battle rifles. When this rifle is fired, it can produce a lot of recoil for someone not used to those large caliber guns. You might not expect the muzzle climb when you're not in the correct shooting stance. Although it's incredibly accurate, you need time and experience to get the most out of its high recoil, which can mess with your aim when stressed. The FN SCAR 17S is a semi-automatic weapon, meaning you can only fire one shot per trigger pull. But under high-stress situations, the recoil and muzzle climb can mess with your follow-up shots and make it harder to get them right. Unlike a pump-action shotgun or bolt-action rifle where you can adjust the rate of fire and deal with the recoil a bit more easily, a semi-auto battle rifle takes more discipline and training to fire safely. Number 11. Taurus Judge. Here's a Judge that earned its reputation over the years. The Taurus Judge. This revolver is a hybrid of a .45 Colt and a .410 shot shell. It's a popular choice for home defense because of its close-range ability, especially with shot shells. But for all its versatility and deadly potential, the gun could also be more dangerous than you think if not properly handled. Let's start with its recoil. The Taurus Judge is a revolver, easy on the eye but difficult to fire, and the rounds it can fire are limitless. The .45 Colt round's big and the .410 shot shells give you a big kickback. The two together make for a difficult firearm to handle if you don't expect recoil or haven't shot it many times before. These shells are better suited for home defense because of their speed, but poor recoil management on the follow-ups could cause shots to go off course in tight quarters. Remember that the .410 shot shells may not have the stopping power you need in some self-defense situations. .410 buckshot shot shells aren't as devastating as you might think when you need to defend close range. You may be underpowered when confronting an intruder unless you got the right ammunition. Users report that the Judge's spread works well for snake defense or small game hunting, but not in high-pressure home defense situations. 10. The Glock 43 Single Stack 9mm. The Glock 43 Single Stack 9mm is one of the most popular concealed carry pistols on the market today. It's small, it's lightweight, and chambered in a 9mm, perfect for those looking for a compact firearm they can carry all day. They say it's among the best options for personal protection, but being small and efficient doesn't make it safe to handle, especially for those new to concealed carry or handguns. For starters, the Glock 43 is a single-stack pistol. It holds fewer rounds than the double-stack shotgun and results in a remarkably slim profile, great for concealed carry but limited in capacity. The 6+1 capacity is plenty for most situations, but when the stakes are high and you need to fire several rounds quickly, this small size comes with great risk. A lack of ammo in self-defense is dangerous, and the Glock 43 gives you little room for error. A third and final problem is that the Glock 43 is a compact 9mm. The recoil may be difficult to maneuver for some shooters. It's not as aggressive as large calibers, but the gun's small frame and lightweight can cause muzzle flips or inaccurate follow-up shots under pressure for the less advanced shooter. The goal for concealed carry is fast and accurate shots, but the Glock 43's slim build leaves little room for error in sight alignment or grip. You may miss or overcorrect and worsen the situation if you don't know how it behaves after the first shot. 9. Smith & Wesson Model 686 357 Magnum. The Smith & Wesson Model 686 is one of the best revolvers ever. The 357 Magnum is an iconic round. For some, the 686 is the standard for revolvers, rugged, reliable, and popular for sports shooting and self-defense. However, there is some risk for owning and using this powerful revolver. The greatest danger would be the recoil. That little .357 Magnum round is powerful and will kick hard. The Model 686 should absorb that recoil, but without proper shooting stance and grip, even an experienced shooter can lose control in rapid fire. Revolvers like this are single-action, double-action. You pull the trigger for each shot or let the hammer fall automatically. If you don't prepare for the recoil in self-defense, you may have trouble controlling your gun and aiming accurately and significantly increasing the risk of friendly fire. Another thing to consider is the weight of the 686. Some shooters like the sturdy feel of the revolver, but it is a little heavy for concealed carry or extended use. The steel frame helps its balance, but for those not used to larger firearms, the weight can be a problem when handling the gun under duress. After several shots, maintaining that extra weight can be hard to do in a hurry in self-defense. 8. Glock 18 Full Auto Version. Gun enthusiasts probably consider the Glock 18 as the full auto cousin to the Glock 17. A full auto Glock 18 is one of those few handguns in its class that can fire continuously. Oh, that sounds cool, right? But wait, before you run to get one, let me explain why the Glock 18 might not be as user-friendly or safe as you think. Glock 18 is a 9mm and looks like a regular Glock 17 on paper. However, its full auto feature changes everything. The rate of fire is incredible with 1,200 rounds a minute. That is insanely fast for a handgun, and while fun in theory, it creates a serious problem. Control, but even the most experienced shooters can barely handle the Glock 18 in full auto mode. Just imagine the recoil of a regular Glock 17. Now multiply that by the fact that the barrel is firing continuously. The result? Several muzzle climbs, rapid loss of aim, and dangerously unstable shot placement. Managing that much recoil is nearly impossible for most people. A handgun that wobbles is more of a liability than a tool in self-defense or tactical situations where accuracy is critical. The Glock 18 also lacks the stabilizing weight and control systems of submachine guns or machine pistols, so if you try to control the spray from this handgun, it might be a danger to you or others. The Glock 18 is a fun gun for collectors and shooting enthusiasts, but not one you want in your hand without proper training, and it costs between $800 and $1,000 if you can legally buy one in non-law enforcement capacity. And this is one of those guns where mismanagement or inexperience can make a great tool a dangerous mistake. 7. Ruger Mini 14. Many people underrate the Ruger Mini 14 as just another semi-automatic rifle. Its rugged look, lightweight construction, and dependability have drawn admirers from law enforcement officers to gun enthusiasts. However, owning and using the Mini 14 presents some hidden dangers. Not that it's a bad gun, but that it can be easily misused. Ruger Mini 14s chambered in .556 NATO, the same round used in a military M16 and AR-15 platform, for self-defense purposes. And that very same power can be a double-edged sword when someone's not prepared. You cannot brush off the recoil of a Mini 14. Even the .556 NATO round can pack a punch, especially for the lighter rifle compared to a full-power rifle like the .308. Not having proper training might cause you to have trouble controlling your Mini 14. Lightweight construction means the rifle's skittish when firing rapidly. You can shoot it, but not as steadily as the heavier, longer-barreled rifle, and without proper stance or grip, you might struggle to keep those rounds on target. This is dangerous when the Mini 14 is used in high-pressure self-defense. Recoil management is crucial. Older Mini 14 models are also said to be unreliable, especially if they use the older magazine design. Even though newer versions have fixed many of these problems, feeding problems or failure to eject can cause malfunctions in a high-stakes situation. At between $700 and $1,200 US, a Ruger Mini 14 is a versatile rifle that's dangerous if not properly trained and maintained. Varmint hunters and ranchers, they love it, but it can be a liability for home defense if you don't manage it correctly. 6. 50 BMG Barrett M82. Here we have something dangerous and borderline ridiculous for the average shooter to own. It's the BMG M82 or the 50 BMG Barrett. This bolt-action sniper rifle uses the 50 Browning machine gun cartridge, a round that can disable vehicles. Military snipers revere the Barrett M82 for accuracy, range, and destructive potential. But why is it dangerous for civilians? First, let's talk about that BMG power. This round can reach over 2,000 yards, well beyond what most home defenses would even contemplate. But even from across the street, a 50 caliber round can penetrate several layers of walls and potentially injure someone or something else. More alarming is the recoil of this beast. As you would have guessed, a 30-pound Barrett M82 has a powerful recoil that would seriously concern the unprepared. It has a recoil-reducing system, but even experienced shooters may struggle to control the massive kick it produces after each shot. This will create a muzzle rise that can make you lose control of your shots during rapid fire. The muzzle brake helps, but you should take it seriously when you have such a large caliber weapon. And then the price. You're looking somewhere between $8,000 and $12,000, including ammo and accessories. And for a self-defense weapon, that's just excessive. Although an impressive rifle to have in your collection, the .50 Barrett M82 is dangerous, not because it's poorly designed, but because of its power and the potential for misuse where it shouldn't be. More shooters should consider this rifle a novelty rather than a practical weapon, because no one wants a gun that can tear up concrete vehicles and heavily armored targets in home defense. Unless, of course, you're defending a Colombian cartel. It's an exciting weapon to shoot, but requires extensive training and should only be used for controlled situations. 5. Beretta 1301 Tactical Mod 2 18.5-inch barrel. Beretta makes some great shotguns that are reliable, fast, and ideal for tactical and home defense. The 1301 Tactical Mod 2 is no different in design and performance. The speed, ergonomics, and power to take on virtually any self-defense scenario. But here comes the rub. The gas-operated cycling system that makes it cycle so smoothly can malfunction if not maintained. This could lead to misfires or failure to feed, and you definitely don't want a malfunctioning shotgun protecting your family. This 1301 Tactical Mod 2 comes with an 18.5-inch barrel for tight spaces and quick shots, but the semi-automatic action could make you feel shaky if you don't properly maintain it. When not cleaned and maintained, the system cycles less efficiently and may not perform as well in a real-world situation. In addition, its reliance on gas cycling means that if the gas system gets dirty, it won't cycle smoothly and will leave you in a jam. Not that the Beretta 1301 Tactical Mod 2 isn't one of the best tactical shotguns on the market when working correctly, but remember, like any semi-auto, it needs maintenance. Poor cleaning can make this gun go from excellent to unreliable in a flash and be more dangerous than you think when things go wrong. 4. Mossberg 500 Short Barrel Version. The Mossberg 500. This pump-action shotgun's been around forever and is one of the most popular shotguns in the world. They call it reliable, versatile, and tank-built. The short barrel version is usually about 18.5 inches long for home defense, and as much as we all trust the 500, some things could make it more dangerous than expected. Second, the Mossberg 500 is a pump-action gun. You gotta cycle the gun after every shot. This is a no-brainer for self-defense, but it's easy to forget or fumble under stress if you're not used to recoil or handling a shotgun under extreme pressure. The shorter version is a bit trickier to shoot than the longer variants, especially with the high muzzle rise of a 12-gauge shell. You may lose control without the proper stance or grip, which you do not want in self-defense. The other danger is its safety mechanism. 500 is a great shotgun, but some models have safety lever issues that fail to engage. Most people don't think about this, but the gun could go off accidentally if the safety doesn't engage as expected. This simple design, however, has predictable results when the safety mechanism is not checked regularly. 3. Remington Model 700 Walker Trigger Design. I know what you're thinking. How can this model be that dangerous? But here's the kicker. Earlier versions of this rifle, especially those fitted with a Walker trigger, have caused controversy because the rifle can accidentally discharge without pulling the trigger. And that's a big problem for a rifle that's been widely trusted for decades. Remington Model 700 is chambered with popular calibers like the .308 and .306 and is a heavy-duty rifle weighing between 7 and 9 pounds depending on the model. The accuracy is unmatched, and the bolt action is usually safe and reliable if maintained. It happens because the Walker trigger mechanism in older models begins to malfunction, and that's sometimes caused accidental discharges without the shooter even touching the trigger. The trigger mechanism has birthed several lawsuits and even recalls, and though Remington's offered to replace the triggers, not everyone has them replaced. In an older model with a Walker trigger, make sure that trigger has been replaced. A gun capable of firing on its own is dangerous, especially when not properly trained. And because of the older Remington 700s are in circulation and still used as rifles, you should be double-checking if you own one of those older models. Trigger failure in a hunting rifle can make what's usually a reliable gun a fire hazard, especially when you're far from home and want to ensure your rifle is firing when you want it to. 2. Mossberg Shockwave 12-gauge. This is an interesting firearm. That gun is kind of a hybrid between a shotgun and firearm. Its compact size and unique look have made the Shockwave popular, and while the Mossberg Shockwave's cool and legal in many areas without an NFA stamp, it can be deadly if you don't train for it. Its 14-inch barrel and bird's head grip make the Shockwave light and easy to carry. It can be useful for concealment and can be stored in small spaces. But it's got one downside: handling the recoil. A 12-gauge shotgun shell thrown from such a short barrel will cause serious muzzle rise and discomfort if you're not ready for it. You lose control of the weapon with recoil, which increases the risk of misfires or injuries if you lack a firm grip or stance. The short barrel and lightweight also prevent accurate aim from being achieved. A minimal bead size provided, even an experienced shooter can still have trouble precisely aiming. Add that to a bird's head grip, which lacks the control and comfort of a full stock, it creates a recipe for a dangerous weapon that begs respect. 1. Desert Eagle. Finally, let's talk about the Desert Eagle 50 AE, the heavy hitter that's more of a movie star than a practical firearm for most shooters. There's no denying that the Desert Eagle is a beast. With its massive frame and incredible recoil, this gun makes a statement wherever it goes. But that's also what makes it more dangerous than you might think. It's an iconic firearm for sure, but it's also difficult to control, and the muzzle blast can catch even experienced shooters off guard. It's one of the heaviest handguns on the market, weighing nearly 4.5 pounds, and is chambered in 50 Action Express AE, a round that packs a real punch. Muzzle blast huge, and recoil can be so awesome it knocks even experienced shooters off balance. But if you're not prepared for that muzzle rise, you might lose your aim or even fire accidental second shots. The Desert Eagle sports a rotating bolt system more commonly found on rifles. Though the action's complex, it's an interesting design. It's heavier and harder to fire in rapid-fire situations. A 7-pound mag and extended barrel also make the Desert Eagle difficult to handle in self-defense. This Desert Eagle 50 AE costs around $1,700 and should only be used by experienced shooters of large caliber handguns. This one is not a weapon for the casual shooter. As you might expect from movies or video games, handling a Desert Eagle, quite another story. Not prepared for its loud recoil and huge power, this gun poses more danger to you than the target. These guns are popular, yeah, but they do carry risks and challenges that make them more dangerous than we might think. Trigger malfunctions, recoil management, even the sheer complexity of a high-powered firearm means using these guns require training, maintenance, and respect to operate them safely. Hey, here's another video from the Gun Warehouse I highly recommend you check out next. And remember, stay safe.